Hello, I'm JW. Now in a previous video I just did a basic tour of this particular shed. There were a number of things obviously which were shown in the video, and one of them was a box of DIY magazines which was on the shelf. And it was actually on the shelf just up there in that space. There's a couple of comments on that which may have implied it was something else inside, but nevertheless I've got the box down from the shelf, so let's have a look inside and see what's actually in there. Now here is that box. I can't remember exactly what the date I gave in the previous one, but these are fairly old items, and so the box here actually has got various writing on the side, most of which isn't particularly applicable to what's in it. So there we go, we've got various dates of 1936 to 38, or 1930 as well there, but anyway, this doesn't particularly apply to the content, so let's just see what we have inside. And yes, it is actually just a collection of magazines. And if we take a random one out of here, see it's a DIY magazine or do it yourself. This one is a special on home decorating the easy way, and this particular one is from April 1958, and the price £1 for the practical man about the house. And in here it says free 5 £50 kitchens. See inside. Bearing in mind £50 kitchen sounds these days as being absolutely ridiculous. Of course, we're talking about 1958, where £50 was a very substantial sum. And these are, in fact, just what they claim to be. And they're fairly thick magazines there, as you can see. There's got a lot of old advertising things inside as well. This particular example goes up to page 415, and it starts at page 299, because these are obviously a series where you're supposed to buy them every month and then put them into a nice folder or whatever, obviously from your local newsagent. So got a lot of nice stuff in here, a lot of old adverts here for some garden sheds and things, and various other products, most of which of course are long gone. And Wolf power tools, well, they kind of might still exist in a name only format. Free catalogues for your sheds and things like that. And there you go. So as is common with these, there's a lot of advertising material in there. The Black & Decker brand new all-purpose power drill, there it is, that metal case job, and probably didn't have an earth, so when it went wrong inside it basically turned into a death trap. £6.19 and 6. Formica, the wonder material which can cover over any surface, and that's when you can still buy Formica in your DIY stores. These days you can only buy it if you're a approved registered person, and it comes in 3 metre plus wide sheets. And all the other things here, Valspar, that's when it was actually a quality paint and not some tat sold by B&Q. More brands which simply don't exist anymore. Wall plugs, and I've got that asbestos business on there. Not entirely sure there, but yeah, so there's a kind of this stuff you could just mash up in a paste form and shove it in a hole, and didn't have to put a plug in. It was just some sort of material full of asbestos, of course, highly dangerous. There's things like this form, I think it was taken over by some other company and sold on that one. Plastic emulsion paint, that was from the days when plastic emulsion paint, or vinyl paint as it's now called, would be a fairly new thing. Previous to that it was disgusting water-based distemper, which was absolutely horrible. Stanley tools, yeah, still in there. So there we go. As you see, there's a colossal amount of stuff in here. And this chap here has made this delightful tapered front cabinet all himself, where the top, of course, is wider than the bottom, so it's theoretically easier to get stuff out. All made from Gold Star hardboard. What stupendous quality. And you'll notice we've gone through all that, and this is actually only the front page of this particular volume, because there's your contents. All of that is advertising filler, which at the time was probably of no interest whatsoever, but of course these days it's quite a nice goldmine of historical information. And it so goes on, and so there's a whole box of these. Sort of thing I'm attempting to get a whole collection of these, but of course it does depend on finding the items and having them available, and also getting them in a decent condition, because a lot of old magazines are surprisingly poorly conditioned and damaged and mould and damp and whatever. So there you go, a whole section there about paint in excessive detail. Cavity walls, again, which we're doing a relatively new construction type there. Spray painting a scooter. So there we go, the mystery of the box of DIY magazines is not really a mystery at all, because that's exactly what's contained in it. Here's another one. This is the same box a bit later in the same year, and got that sort of rather very typical of the period type of illustration there. And whether you may or may not like looking through these, I happen to like this kind of stuff. You of course may not. But that was just a quick look through one of them there. I've got many others of these to look at a later time. However, that's it for this video. Until next time, thanks for watching.